I first began working with Brandon on the project of the painting of Ebony Shaw.
I'm giving this to you. It's yours now.
He reached out to me and he liked what I had to offer for the part, and it just kind of went from there, which was really exciting for me to be, included in that way. And it allowed me to really explore my talents, and I was really thankful for the opportunity. Brandon was like, popping off ideas when he was writing the script, and he was like, I'm thinking about these characters and these characters, I'm thinking about you for this character, and eventually it just melded into his wonderful brainchild that is Grotesque. And I was very fortunate enough for him to be like, hey, would you like to audition for a role? And I was like, well, of course. Well, Vespa, she's quite the character.
All right, now I want sexy poses. There you are, yeah. Perfect.
She is a model, and she had to climb her way to the top. I don't want to say she begged, borrowed, and stealed, but she did take full advantage of everybody's hospitality and kindness to make her way right to where she was. And she's kind of a bitch, let's be honest.
You hired me, remember? When I was just starting out my photography side hustle? You never paid me.
Your pictures were terrible.
Really? Because you used one as your headshot and got you that movie role, which you were terrible in, by the way.
Fuck you. She's not the nicest character. She definitely looks out for herself, and she was quite the fun character to play. Just to allow myself to settle into that was really fun. That was a crazy scene to film, and I think all the extra footage we got would make for an amazing sequence. It was the weirdest thing. As someone who has dabbled in the modeling world, you had to be there to really fully enjoy it. So we had our photographer, James, as the character, but you had Brandon in the background, and he was just telling me to do all these really crazy scenarios.
Pretend you're a tiger eating a deer carcass. Okay, now you're a baby. You're a baby and you want your bottle. You're crying. Okay, you give me birth, and then the baby's coming out, and you grab it, and you look at it, and it's a devil baby, so you throw it away.
So it was really, really fun to do and to lean into that creative side. It was also really awkward and embarrassing to have all these people and cameras staring at you while you're trying to do this, and while attempting to look like a professional, adorable model, while, you working a jackhammer, or all these really crazy far out scenarios. And fortunately we had Caitlin, who dressed me in the most amazing outfits, and it added into the confidence levels of the character, and it was just... Vespa doesn't die by the hand of Mildred. Mildred wanted her to suffer, and what better way than disfiguring her face? So Mildred carved a beautiful M into Vespa's face, and of course Vespa, being the self-absorbed girl that she is, decided that she couldn't possibly continue with such a disfiguration, and she did end up ending her own life right then and there.
Now you can transition from rom-com to horror movies.
May have been a cowardly move. She probably could have boldly gone on with a huge M, but, choices were made. We were all fairly new at the whole prosthetic process, and so it was really fun to try to experiment to make sure it was looking right and well. I do tend to get a little claustrophobic at those times, so I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here real pretty with this giant prosthetic gashes, and without, sweating it off, or, I had to remain very still, and, very calm, and I was also, it takes its toll. It's nothing as bad as, Jim Carrey in the Grinch outfit. It's nowhere near that. But it was a fun process. I love, being that guinea pig, and Jamie does such an amazing job with all the prosthetics. So it did go on very well. But it was also, you're in that headspace of, try not to sweat it off, try not to touch it, try not to, so it's a very fun process, and I love seeing what it looks like after, but I do tend to get in my head about, the effects of living life with prosthetics. I think Mildred Moyer's super popular for the simple reasons that she is the fun-loving character that she is. She has a full backstory. It's pretty fantastic. She plays it amazingly. She has the revenge story. She has some romance going on. There's a lot of aspects to it. It's an amazing character development overall. And from beginning to end, the character development is great. And, you know, Elizabeth does such a great job playing Mildred, and I think she has so much fun with it. And I think she just brings that character to life, and I think that makes it extra enjoyable for the viewers and everybody else on set. I think Grotesque is fairly popular because it is this wonderful, like, comedy slasher. It's got all the ingredients that make an excellent movie. You've got your antagonist, which is kind of the protagonist. I do think people enjoy the comedy aspect. I think people enjoy a good, like, revenge story. We're all cheering for the underdog who's not the underdog. It makes a lot of sense that it did take off the way it did, and it was a fun movie, just in general, to make, to watch. It was a really fun time, and I think the audience can get that when they watch it.